guys, this is Katie on the go. I thought it would be really fun to make a mini episode this week, and so I'm just going to do some casual voice notes and just kind of put them into the podcast like this. I just want to give you guys a mini episode and just kind of refresh of who I am, why I'm doing this podcast, and answering some of y'all's questions. And of course, talking about movies and TV and whatever I feel like talking about. So first and foremost, my name is Katie Holtzclaw. As you all know, I say it every week. I am the host of the Moving Pictures podcast. I am currently a grad student at Savannah College of Art and Design in Atlanta. I am getting my Master's of Arts in Film and TV Production. I am specializing in directing and writing. And I am graduating this year, 2022. I've kind of loved movies and TV my whole life, but I really found the passion for it, for all things media, when I was in high school, when I lived in London, England with my family. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and then when I was 13, my family and I moved overseas, and we were there for about 4.5 years, almost 5. And then when I came back, I went to a private Christian school in Atlanta, and then attended the University of Georgia in 2015. So, I guess I'm aging myself, but I went to Georgia thinking I wanted to do journalism, and then I took a few journalism classes and knew that wasn't for me. So then I switched to, what did I switch to? Oh, entertainment and media studies, which is basically telecommunications. And then around sophomore year, I took, first semester, I took a film history class with Professor Richard Newport. Love him. And I decided that was the route I wanted to go down. It was way more interesting than anything I had ever taken before. And I kind of had this identity crisis because I've never been a history person. I mean, I hated AP history in high school, taking all the notes, and I was just like, I don't care about this information as much as, this test or this class requires me to. And then I got into film studies. It's literally film history. I'm studying film, and I just loved it. Ate it all up. I thought it was so cool how, I guess movies reflect the time period that they're in. And even if they're a dystopian or a futuristic film, that still is telling you, it's dating the movie creation because it's telling you what we don't have. It's saying this is, before its time kind of thing. So anyway, that's kind of where I found my love for it. But in high school, I really loved watching movies in classes when I got home from school. But that's also when I started binging TV shows. So when we were in England, I don't think we used Netflix. I don't think it was a streaming service yet. You had to order the disc, and I don't think we did that. I think we just really went to Blockbuster, which God bless Blockbuster. But we started watching TV on, I remember watching Friends for the first time, on cable TV. And then we would just, record every episode and then watch them in order. So that's how I saw it all the way through for the first time, was I, scrolled through our DVR system and was, watching them in order. Yeah, so that's kind of, I know I kind of jumped all around, but that was kind of the heart of me learning to love TV. And then I would say movies were kind of filtered in there, and then definitely in college, movies were my go-to. And then, I started taking classes on it, so that really brought about this passion in me. And then I graduated college in 2019, and then I was a production assistant on a few different things, some smaller production companies in Atlanta to some big Netflix films. And then COVID hit, and I was out of a job. A lot of people were out of a job. The entire industry was basically shut down. And so I decided to go to grad school because SCAD was offering virtual classes. And so I decided to do that. And I just feel really blessed that I got to financially be able to go and just kind of like mentally and physically be able to go, as I didn't get COVID throughout the whole time. I guess this whole pandemic I haven't gotten it, so just really lucky and really blessed that I get to go. And now I'm almost done, which is crazy. All I have to do is my thesis film, which is just a whole nother topic of discussion because it's, oh, missed my turn, because it's very stressful. But anyway, so I'm in the process of pre-production for my thesis documentary, and my documentary is on nuns that fight human trafficking. So look out for that. I'm definitely going to be posting about it. And that's kind of all the background that I have for you guys right now. Yeah, I will be back. Okay, I am back with the mini episode. Just had to take a little, 3-hour break. 2 hours, because I was getting my nails done for my beach trip. But anyway, so I gave you a little background on me, and just a little background. I want to talk about my favorite movies. I know when I podcast, I say that every movie is my favorite movie, and I almost never have anything bad to say about the movies. I'm like, they're so good, they're just so good. So I'm gonna give you my top 3 to 5. As I'm talking, I'll figure it out. Okay, these are my top 3, and they're not in any particular order, but we have The Great Gatsby, 2013, not the original, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, obviously. I also wrote a paper on all the costume design and set design for that, and that also really just made me appreciate the film more, because so much thought went into this, and just the beauty of all that they wore, and the set deck, and all that was just shown on screen was so beautiful. And The Great Gatsby is my favorite book, so I really love that it got to come to life in this movie. So I've always had The Dark Knight as one of my top, but I think Todd Phillips' Joker beats it out. So I don't think The Dark Knight is in my top anymore, because I like the Joker better. And it gives me the same vibe. Obviously, it's the same story, like Gotham, Batman, etc. But I love it. The colors and the music. Woo! The soundtrack won many awards, because it's so good. It's so piercing. You can feel the emotion just by listening. And then add Joaquin Phoenix on top of that. Wow, that's a winner for sure. And then I always say The Graduate is also my favorite, older movie. I guess The Great Gatsby is, kind of older, but obviously 2013. The Graduate was in, the 60s. So, I really like it. I think it's funny. It's kind of a staple of American cinema, and it really marks a lot of changes in film history and film in general. It also kind of goes along with what I was talking about last week on Bonnie and Clyde. It really talks about taboo subjects that no one was talking about. And Simon and Garfunkel also really kind of defined the montage in film history, and just having a song playing in the back of a scene was really new. And The Graduate is a really big historical mark for this change. And I also just love the characters. I've analyzed these angles so many times, just in classes, when I'm watching, when I've watched it with my parents, that kind of thing. I've read a lot of articles about it as well. So to really understand The Graduate, I think, is to appreciate it. There's no way you can't not like it once you've kind of dug into it and seen how actually iconic it is. But I also love, just thinking of some modern films, I really love Promising Young Woman. That's a film that I will stand by no matter what. That's a film I think everyone needs to see. That storyline is something that we need to talk about more. And the fact that the majority of males I come in contact with haven't seen it solely because of the subject matter is also why I love it so much and why I advertise for it so much. Because if you don't know, it's about sexual assault and the trauma that comes from that. And, you know, if you want more, you'll just have to wait until I talk about it on my podcast in a few weeks. But basically, that's what it's about. And it kind of adds this fictional spin onto it of this character, Cassandra, and how she tries to get revenge in a way from the sexual assault. So basically, it's really empowering. And it also talks about just issues that matter, issues that we don't talk about. You know, again, film that talks about things we don't talk about, or things that are taboo, or things that are seen as political, so you're not supposed to bring them up in certain situations. Like, this film talks about it all. And they do such a good job at it because you can see how we should be handling this kind of situation through the film, and also how not to handle this kind of situation through the film. But it all comes down to human experience, and I feel like all of these films that I love because they really imitate life, art imitating life, which is why I made this podcast, to kind of ask that question and see how right or wrong it is. And then if I had to pick a fifth, I feel like I would pick one of, actually, you know what? I can't definitively say what my fifth top favorite movie is, because when I think of like favorite movies, you think of a comfort movie, a movie you can watch over and over and over. And I feel like I just watch rom-coms all the time, like over and over and over and over, that I've seen a million times, but I will always go back to them, and they're always amazing, and they always satisfy me in what I need, which is comfort and just familiarity and kind of that security blanket that I need when I'm laying in bed sick or sad or whatever. I really don't want this to be in my top 5 because it feels kind of it feels kind of shameful to say that this is in my top 5, but I love The Other Guys. That's like the one comedy I can never get tired of, and the one that I always show people, like if we're looking for a comedy movie, so, like, I always recommend that movie. I don't know. It's not very, like, intellectual, to say the least, but I do really like it. I think it's very funny. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And again, comfort. It's just something that is familiar, that I can always go back to, that I can always just watch over and over again. It is stupid, though. A lot of it's stupid. It's the stupid humor, but I think it's like the epitome of the stupid humor that I can handle, if that makes sense. Like, I can't handle a lot of the, like, stupid and vulgar humor that is in a lot of the comedy movies today. I can't. It's not appealing to me, but for some reason this one is. Anyway, just a little food for thought, for myself. So I would say those are probably my top movies, and when it comes to TV shows, that's all I do is binge TV shows. Like, I'll watch a movie at night, I'll watch it. I love day movies, so, like, if I have, like, a Saturday off, Saturday where I'm not doing anything, and I can watch at least 1 or 2 movies, I'm a happy camper. But my go-to, like, after work, or while I'm working, or, like, while I'm chilling at home with friends, it's always just, like, put on TV. And what I binge alone and what I, like, binge with friends or family, or, like, what I would put on to, like, entertain is wildly different. Vastly different. But yeah, I mean, I think I'll get into those in a little bit just because I'm almost home. But it's just TV shows. I think I think I go for TV shows more than movies when I'm just kind of chilling because they last longer. This is kind of an epiphany I had this week when I was sick, and I like kept wanting to watch movies, but then just kind of kept turning on TV because I couldn't really pay attention to anything. Is that the story lasts longer? I hate the end of movies because I'm so sad that it's over. Like, I watched 13 Going on 30. I was just sick, had like a violent stomach flu, and I watched 13 Going on 30, and I was really sad when it was over because I wanted to see more of them, like, together and happy, and, like, they're moving into the pink house at the end. I'm like, can I see it furnished? Can I see them, like, decorate it? Can I see it when it's done? Can I get a little house tour? I want to see how they interact with each other. Like, do they have kids? Do they get a dog? Like, how are they as parents? I want to see this storyline play out. And in TV shows, you get to. You have 10 seasons of Friends where you get to see all the little intricacies, and you get to be in the world of Friends for 10 seasons. And I love that. I don't want it to end. That's also why I get really sad when shows end, because I will skip. I'll watch the last episode of a series one time, and then I will forever skip it. I will never watch the end. I will never watch when a character leaves, like in The Office when Michael Scott leaves in season 7 or 8. I will not watch that episode. Can't do it, won't do it, refuse to do it, because I don't like when stories end. This is just such captivating art, and I enjoy it so much that it emotionally damages me when it's over, which makes me kind of want to evaluate my internal baggage, my emotional luggage, see what's going on down there. But I mean, I could just be a movie and TV fanatic. I mean, I am, so maybe that's just it. But I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I hate it. Hate endings of movies, TV shows, whatever. But so that's why I gravitate towards TV shows, because they go on longer. You're in the world longer, the story's longer, you get to be captivated longer. It's a longevity thing for sure. Yeah, so I can go into what TV shows I like in a little bit, but if you follow me on Instagram, personal or podcast, you probably already know the TV shows that I watch all the time. I do have a long list of shows that I need to watch, so maybe I'll start one of those soon. Maybe I'll go for a more intellectual show, but we'll see. Okay, I'm officially home. So I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey everybody, this is your host, Katie Holtzclaw, live from on the beach in Florida. I've got Abbie Lynch with me right here. She will be asking the hard-hitting questions today. Just kidding. I'm just going to answer some of your questions. Some of you guys have been DMing me about my favorite TV shows, and I know in the last note I kind of touched on it, but I want to give you guys a good solid list of my favorite TV shows. First and foremost, we have the TV shows that I can always watch, always have playing in the background, always listen to, work to, sleep to, etc., which are The Office, Parks and Rec, Psych, and sometimes Law and Order SVU. It depends. Sometimes I really feel like I want to watch Law and Order SVU. Currently, I am rewatching it starting from season 13, which is when Amanda Rollins comes in. So I've been rewatching it from season 13. But any Law and Order episode, I feel like you can just watch out of order, kind of sporadically. You don't have to see it, in a row, one right after the other. So that's just a good, interesting drama. But because each episode kind of feels the same, it does get boring, which I guess you could say about The Office, but it never gets boring. So that's more fun to watch, I think. Just listen to, have in the background. I also like Criminal Minds. My mom and I are watching that together in order. We're trying to get through all 25 seasons or something. So we're on season 17 or 18 right now.
gets really good. But I do like Criminal Minds, but my mom and I have committed to watching it together, so we don't really watch it without each other. So that's more of like you gotta pay attention, you know, kind of slow burn, but it's a good show. Also, Lie to Me is another good show. It's about the science behind micro expressions and how this like private kind of consulting group helps the cops and the FBI figure out who's lying, solve these cases, see if anyone's a murderer, you know, depending on the case. Which is also really interesting. You just really have to pay attention so you can actually understand what they're talking about and kind of how they've got from point A to point B. But really interesting.
It's actually really nice because it gives you a head, a little, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
BRB. Okay, we are back. Another great show is Grey's Anatomy. I know everyone says, you know, it's gone on too long, which it has, and the most recent seasons were not great. I really hated the COVID-19 season where they're just at the hospital and, like, no one's there. They have to wear, like, hazmat suits all the time. It was just really depressing because it came out in 2020 and there was no element of escapism. You were basically just watching what you were living in. It was just not the vibe. And also, Ellen Pompeo is the only one that's really left. Her and, what's his face? Richard. And I guess Bailey.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey's still there. But there's, like, only 3 that are still there. And it's just, it's not really Grey's Anatomy anymore. It's just kind of like the Meredith Grey show, but without everyone else. It feels like it's missing a lot. It feels like they're just trying to keep it alive. And like when everyone quote unquote came back during the COVID-19 season, they didn't really come back. They're just there for like maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes as a cameo, which just isn't even worth the hype. But earlier seasons, bomb. I think after season 10, it just goes downhill. It's not really worth the watch. Because basically everyone's dead or gone at that point.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. I'm not going to tell you who dies, but, you know.
Told us who survives.
True, but not everyone that's gone is dead.
True.
Not everyone that's gone that left is dead. But yeah, I'll tell you the 3 survive. At least. What's another good show? What do I watch a lot?
The Vampire Diaries.
Oh, The Vampire Diaries.
Team Damon or Team Stefan?
Delana, obviously.
Delana. Well, actually, I'm Team Stefan until like season 2.
Yes.
And then when she starts to fall for Damon, spoiler alert. Sorry everyone for ruining the show. That's
if you haven't seen the 2009 TV show The Vampire Diaries, yeah. You're not gonna. If you haven't seen it, you're not gonna watch it at this point. But
Pretty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars, also really good. I mean, it is honestly the word I can think of to describe Pretty Little Liars is like janky, chaotic. It's very early 2000s, but in the best way possible. And I did rewatch it recently because it was so compelling.
I have yet.
It is good. It's not as good the second time around, but it is good.
And they changed A about 5 times because everyone was.
Yeah, more than that. Everyone was A at one point.
Oh yeah.
But it's still good. And now there's a guy on YouTube who goes through the entire show. It's called Mike's Mike. And he explains literally all of the connections in the show and how it all is related to one another. Definitely would recommend it. I'm going to watch it this week or next week. And what else is good? Psych is also good. It's about a fake psychic who solves crimes. That's really good. Again, almost every episode is kind of the same, so it isn't necessarily something that you can binge all the time. But I would say watch it one time through and then just pick your favorites and watch those. Skip the ones you don't like. What's another good show that I watch? How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal. Give me the same vibes. It's like an amazing powerhouse. It's about an amazing like powerhouse woman who's the star of the show, the main character. And then all of this like crazy stuff happens. and it's really compelling, really interesting, and I wouldn't say any of it is scary. I know How to Get Away with Murder sounds like it's kind of scary, but it's not. It's more about like legalese, and then Scandal is more about politics. Really cool, really good. Let's see. So someone asked me TV shows that were on my list to watch that I haven't seen. House of Cards is one. Suits is one. I've never seen that, but I've heard great things about it.
It's very good. It gets really boring though towards the end because it just gets a little bit silly. And Meghan Markle's in it, and I kind of hate her. No offense.
No offense. I hate her, but no offense.
If she's listening, Meghan, I'm really sorry. You look good in it, but you annoy me as a character.
Katherine Heigl's in that.
Yes, she is.
I really like her.
Prison Break's good if you haven't watched that.
I haven't seen Prison Break.
Really good.
Actually, can I pull up my list as I'm recording?
Pull up.
Yes, I can. Okay, TV shows to watch. Oh, Riverdale is really good. So, I haven't seen it. You don't like it? I really like Riverdale.
Season 2.
Really?
Yeah. Way too silly.
It did. It got very far-fetched. But my thing is, it hasn't been, I'm not up to date anymore, but I can't just, pick up where I left off because I don't remember so much, but I can't restart it from the beginning because I remember too much. It hasn't been enough time for me to, basically completely forget everything that happened. But I do want to catch up, so maybe I'll just catch up and be a little lost, but just so I can get all the juicy gossip that's happening, maybe I'll just be a little lost. I want to watch Good Sam with Sophia Bush in it. I loved her in One Tree Hill, and I am rewatching One Tree Hill because I'm listening to the Rewatch podcast called Drama Queens, and it's really, really good. So I've been just kind of watching an episode or two a week. Would highly recommend it. It is fun to watch it and then hear them talk about it, and then get the analysis that they discuss. I also want to watch White Collar and True Detective. I've heard those are really, really good. Game of Thrones is on my list, but I don't know how invested I would be in that. It's kind of,
I feel like it's not for me.
I don't know. It's there's such a cult following with it that I don't know if I can get into it until that dies down. I don't like watching things when at the peak of its hypeness. I gotta wait until I feel compelled to watch it. Dynasty is also another really good show. What? The new one.
Yeah.
Not the remake, not the OG. It's set in Atlanta. I actually worked as a production assistant on the show early 2020. Just promoting myself. If anyone is hiring, I can do absolutely anything you need me to do on a set.
Absolutely. I can go get coffee.
I can get coffee. I can be a production assistant. I can be a script supervisor. I mean, I can kind of edit.
You can be anything.
I can be a unit production manager, be a production coordinator. I got you guys. Cameraman, boom mic operator, gaffer, grip. I don't care. I'll do it. I started Glee is on my list
I love Glee.
to rewatch.
Oh, I've rewatched it 3 times all the way through.
Okay, I haven't seen it since I first saw it. I like it, but I really hate Lea Michele.
You can kind of see that.
She treats everyone really badly. Yeah, she's a prima donna. Okay, and then movies to watch. Let's see. I have A Night in Soho, which I'm dying to watch. Don't Look Up. I really want to see. I haven't seen Spencer or House of Gucci, the biography films. I want to see Spencer because I thought Kristen Stewart. I thought Kristen Stewart was a weird choice, but apparently she did great. So I want to see it. I haven't seen The Goldfinch. I haven't seen King Richard either, which is the autobiography about Serena Williams' dad.
Oh, okay.
Serena and
Will
Venus.
Smith.
Yep. Oh, Will Smith. Haven't seen Harriet either, which is about Harriet Tubman. I kind of want to watch that. Maybe have a historical fiction day and watch all those movies. I haven't seen Dark Waters with Mark Ruffalo, which I really want to see. The Irishman, Honey Boy, Lady Macbeth. I haven't seen. Sorry to Bother You is actually really good. I did see that one. But that's randomly on my list. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, I have some random movies that are kind of on here that I either want to rewatch or just kind of watch for the first time. But I'm really feeling compelled to watch the biopics. But yeah, I haven't seen those, but I guess I'm recommending them because they're on my list to watch. People have recommended them to me, so they have to be good. And, I mean, they won some awards. Obviously, the Will Smith at the Oscars thing happened when he won an award for King Richard. So,
Don't just leave that there.
yeah, you'll have a tan line. Abbie's drawing a smiley face.
I think it's a really cool picture. Can I take it on your belly? Can I put it on your belly and take it?
No, I'll take it on yours.
My belly looks good though.
It does. Okay, I think that's about it. Any other questions I should answer? I mean, why I made this podcast was so that I could talk about my passions and I could dedicate time to researching things that interest me. That includes films and just film history. I want to just kind of be able to watch, like, I guess I kind of made this podcast so I could have an excuse to watch a movie every week and then talk about it.
Love that.
And, like, research it and analyze it and think critically for fun. The research part is really, really fun. I sound like such a nerd, but it's really fun to look up what was happening at the time of the movie, what was happening in the director's mind, in the writer's mind, in the characters' minds, and just kind of everything from development all the way down to post-production, I think is super interesting. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. And my goal is to grow my listening, grow my engagement, grow this community, find a community to kind of build and live in via the internet with you guys, and to have fun people on my podcast like Miss Abbie Lynch over here.
Yeah, girl.
Oh,
Y2K coming up next week.
oh, yep. Next week we will be discussing some very popular Y2K films and why Y2K films are so popular, why they're so iconic, and why they live on forever. That's it. I will see you guys next week. I hope you got more of a feel for who your host is and how weird I am and how much I talk. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Now if you run into a 5'2" covered with fur, diamond rings and all those things, bet your life it isn't her. Could she love? Could she